Hey friends, I'm George. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you watching this channel. And today we're going to make a cured ham from scratch. And it is very, very simple. It requires only two things: time and space. All right, let's jump right in. You need 2 gallons of water or 7.5 liters of water, and you bring half of that to a boil so that the salt can dissolve in it. Coarsely cut up a bunch of organic celery along with a couple of organic onions. No need to peel them. We're cooking up a 10.5 pound ham, which is about 4 3/4 kilograms and is about the max amount of ham you can use for this amount of brine. This is organic Berkshire pork, and it is the best. You don't want this to be salty, so follow this ratio: 1 gallon or 3 3/4 liters of water to 1 cup or 240 milliliters of Celtic sea salt. So here we're going to use 2 cups of Celtic sea salt because we're going to use double the water. I also use equal parts, the equivalent of 1 cup or 240 milliliters of maple syrup instead of sugar as a sweetener. I had a brain fart moment and added the 2 cups or 480 milliliters of maple syrup to the boiling water instead of the salt. In the end, it really doesn't matter as long as you make sure that the salt is dissolved. Add a half a cup or 120 milliliters of a finely ground yellow mustard. Do not use Dijon. You're also going to need 24 cloves of organic garlic. Do not smash or cut them. I feel that intact, they impart a sweeter flavor to the brine and ultimately to the ham. 1/2 cup or 120 milliliter of fennel seeds, organic. 2 tablespoons or 30 milliliters of Korean red pepper flakes. 1 teaspoon or 5 milliliters of organic dried rosemary. 1 teaspoon or 5 milliliters of organic dried thyme. 6 bay leaves. 1 tablespoon or 15 milliliters of whole pink peppercorns. The problem with not using curing salt is that the ham turns out more gray than pink when you cook it. To minimize this, I am coloring the brine with about 1/2 cup of beet powder. Submerge your ham in the brine, and remember earlier how I told you you need time and space? Use a container that is larger than you think. You should keep the ham in the refrigerator for approximately 1 day per kilo. Every other day, I'm going to turn the ham over. After 5 days, rinse off the ham thoroughly and pat it down until it's dry. Elevate it off the bottom of a pan and put it back in the refrigerator uncovered for a day or up to 2 days. Score the fat into diagonal cuts. Flip over the ham and roll it so that the fat winds up on top. Then you're going to tie it off. Here's a tip. After you tighten the simple knot, flip the tag ends of the twine 180 degrees. This will keep pressure on the meat so that you can finish off the knot. The tighter, the better. You can cook this off in a pan, but it really works best in a Dutch oven with a lid. Add a bottle of good quality ginger beer to the ham, and please make sure there are no crappy additives or preservatives in it. You're going to need a temperature probe. Place the ham in an oven preheated to 325 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees Celsius. Set the alarm on your thermometer to go off when the internal temperature of the ham reaches 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 degrees Celsius. Now, for some reason my camera wasn't recording. Cube up a can of sliced pineapple or 10 ounces or 300 grams of fresh pineapple, and to that add 16 ounces or half a liter of pomegranate juice, a 1/4 cup or 60 milliliters of bourbon, 2 star anise, and a teaspoon of clove powder. Reduce this down very slowly so that there is very little liquid left. This will be very tart, and I like that. If you prefer it to be a touch sweeter, add a bit of maple syrup to it to taste. Once the ham is up to temperature, coat it with the pineapple pomegranate mix. Turn the oven up to 425 degrees Fahrenheit or 220 degrees Celsius and put the ham back in the oven uncovered until the internal temperature reaches 155 degrees Fahrenheit or 68 degrees Celsius. So this ham took exactly 3 hours to cook from start to finish. I think that's because there was no bone in it. With a bone, you can pretty much count on about 2 to 2.5 pounds per hour. So this was 10.5 pounds. Probably take close to 5 hours if you had a bone in it. I'm very excited to eat this, and so are my guests because I'm serving this today. It's Thanksgiving here. Let's give this a try. Right off the bat, I can see how juicy it is. Nice pink color. The beet juice really made a difference. What I adore about this is that, first of all, it's not your typical sweet, honey glazed spiral ham. Got character and texture. The sauce that we put on top of it, which was the pomegranate juice and the pineapple, a little bit of bourbon, is tart. When you reduce that down, it becomes incredibly tart. But there was maple syrup in the brine, so it's not like it needed any more sweetness. This is truly delicious. Budget your time carefully. It's a very simple dish. You make this, especially if you're able to get Berkshire pork, which is organic, you're gonna have one of the healthiest dishes that you could possibly serve at any holiday. Thank you very much for watching. Happy holidays to you. Please give this a try. Leave a comment down below. If you have a glaze or a cure that you'd like to share with me, leave that down below too. Please share this on social media, Reddit, Facebook. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.